Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, Before Thinking Right. Out here in the lab, we get to the bottom of the book, but we ripping through this book. I'm closing it out, but I got nice two lessons. It's a two-parter, but two short lessons. I'm gonna combine them into one. First title is gonna be meditation practice at the temple of Aset, and then we got the cry of Aset. I'm gonna show you how her focus on God, Ra, was so strong that when she got in trouble, when she called him, we pray. No, she stopped everything and got his attention. It's a good lesson. Let's talk about it. Rightism, let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's go. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? When I'm through, that's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them, don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock, here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and always to. Might not be true. All right. We're going to get this last two lessons, and I think I got one more after this. Yeah, we got one more. All right, but this is gonna be fun. Right thinkers, P-Funk philosophy on the meditative practices of the temple of Aset, and then I'm gonna give you a quick lesson, or that's gonna be the quick lesson. The other lesson is the cry of Aset. Nice story, good lesson. Let's go. In ancient Egyptian temple of Aset, a special form of meditation was practiced. This was advanced meditation. They called it meditation of wisdom. I gave you that lesson already, okay? But this is the philosophy that they taught at her temple. It was alluded to in the early section of this book that entitled was the Who is the First and Chief Being in the Light of Kemetic Yoga Philosophy. Did that a few chapters ago. So when Aset discovered the true name of Ra, remember the story Rumpelstiltskin? Okay, they got that from this one, Ra. Okay, she was actually practicing what I've been trying to tell you, one-pointed meditation on Ra. She had Ra on her mind all the time. She had her mind on Ra all the time, and Ra was on her mind all the time. So that is having understanding that all things are created by Ra, which is God, and do not have a separate existence outside. Everything is Ra, of Ra. She turned all of her thoughts, all her focus, all her attention to Ra. Sound familiar? She's Ra conscious. Okay, watch this now. Watch this. What this is beautiful. In this manner, she focused her mind on one object, Ra. Okay, that's single-minded focus, and she did her thing. Pay attention. No matter where she turned, and since all objects of the world, though seemingly to be abiding or separate, are in fact all just manifestations of the one divine Ra, if this sole thought were to occupy one's mind all the time of the spiritual aspect, which is you would now have what they call your own personal transcendental experience of spiritual awakening. When you become one with God, Ra, in this case, you have become awakened to your spiritual essence of who you really are. You know who you are. Watch this. So when your spiritual aspirant, when you fully realize this, that there is nothing in this world that is not of Ra or divine, then whenever your mind turns to matter, what objects in your mind, there is understanding that you know that God is in that object, and therefore the mind never leaves the awareness of the divine. I'm telling you, God conscious, that means having God on your mind all the time, and you don't leave God's presence consciously. Even in sleep, you're still God conscious. I just gave you that lesson. Sorry, calm down. But this is what they're telling you, and this is what she exemplified. Watch this. Aset with raw conscious. This is the wisdom of meditation. It is the blossoming of the previous work done by you, by the aspirant. What? Listening and reflecting upon the teachings, and then you'll get to the third level. Let's talk about the first two first. So the end game for all this is that all your toils, all your labors is for you to attain self-knowledge of what? The first and chief being, your higher self, your true self. That's self-knowledge. You becoming conscious of your true self. They call it the first chief being, supreme being, the all, the absolute, the virgin, whoever. We call him Ra in the Assyrian myth. So who alone, again, one, is the sole object of the understanding of one's mind, being God conscious all the time. That's the teaching from the temple of Aset. Not from me, not from no, from the temple. They were taught this thousands of years ago. Become one single-minded about God. They taught that. This process of enlightenment or spiritual, whatever you want to call it, mindfulness, everybody got a name for it. But it's the process that you go through to reach it. That's what everybody don't seem to understand. You got to put work in. I'm giving you the work. That's what you need to know. Or the beginning, we always see the beginning and the end. No, what about the in-between? Well, no, you got to know that. That's how you get to the end. The process of listening is the deterrent hearing it to the teaching. They're for a reason. They're teaching you. And when you hear it, you have to reflect upon them. And by doing so, you're practicing the ritual and of the mind to now be one-pointed movement again. You're getting to God. You're working your way to God, which breaks that veil of what? Ignorance of oneself. Aset tells you, no mortal man has ever laid eyes on me. Why? Ignorant. Mortal eyes are ignorant. The internal eye, the open eye, you can unveil her and see her true self. Watch this. And the veil of ignorance. And now you reveal the goddess in her true naked form. Truth is always naked. You ain't got to dress it up. You ain't got to clothe it. It's best served what? Naked. Sorry, excuse me. The story goes, when the truth and lie, they go together. When the lie figured out to get truth to take his clothes off, he said, how long do you hold your breath underwater? Truth said, let's go, let's see. So took the clothes off. Truth jumped in the water, went underwater. The lie put his clothes on. And when the truth woke up and see he had clothes on, he started chasing him. But he butt naked. The lie got the truth clothes on. Two guys sitting there and said, yeah, look at the truth running down there. Look like the truth running down there. He said, nah, that naked truth chasing them. That's the truth right there. Why? He dressed up to look like the truth. And liars always want you to what? Believe them. Truth don't ask for belief. Okay, moving on. So the transcendental self, no quick story. But the naked form of Aset is you seeing her for who she is. Wisdom, intuitive knowledge that you can manifest for yourself. That's the transcendental and absolute reality that's beyond the relative manifestation of infinity and eternity, as in the world of time and space. There is something other than this. We know that. Another way to put it, all right, let's try something else, is the process of what? Listening to the teachings. First thing you got to do, sit down, quiet yourself, and pay attention to what's being said. The teacher's on duty, so better hear me good. I'm giving you information that will help you. And once you hear it, the teachings, now it's up to you as an individual to reflect upon these teachings, and that will lead your mind to what we call the one-pointed movement which now will poison one's what? Ignorance understanding. Ignorant can't stand up against the truth. He ain't no. He will cower. He will cower and bow down. And for the world of one's own true being, your higher self, revealing the true name of one's innermost essence. That's knowing God personally. You get real close and knows my name. But how do you get the name? There we go. Wrapping up with this one. This is Ra's true name, okay, which cannot be uttered, meaning you can't speak it by speech, but it can only be known by you finally discovering your inner self, and that is you having experience for yourself, because it's within your heart. You have to experience that by calling it heart-mind coherence. Heart, mind, becoming one. That's where God dwells. And the temple's not made with human hand, and in the heart of all human beings. Hope you understood the lesson. I made that real quick for you. But now, let's get to the good one. The concept of keeping God on your mind. We're trying to show you that's how you become what? God conscious. You can't, well, I'm going to let God go. No. Keep God there. Why? That's where he belongs. Moving on. So now, when you got God there, and you got in tune to God, watch this. That means when you're living right, when you're praying for things to go your way, you got situations you want to deal with, you put it in prayer, you take it to God. Yeah, I'm a prayer warrior. Today is Wednesday. I love it. Why? You get to hear people's problems that they want to take to God. I being a God observer and a God servant, I take it to God my way. My pastor does it his way, I back up. I'm the backup plan. So, okay, again, I know how to talk to God. So simple. But I don't go around telling everybody, I can talk to God for you. No, I ain't got time for that nonsense. My phone got the hook. Yo, man, tell God I need this. Man, I'm not God a bellhop, so no. I will pray for you. I keep everybody in mind that I pray for. Let's go. So now let's get into the concept of the cry of Aset. If you are a prayer, if you had a situation that you wish you could reverse, take back, and do over again, we know we can't do that. Aset did. Let's talk about it. The Assyrian resurrection story, the myth, it was told that Aset cried out when her son Haru died from the sting of the scorpion that her uncle Set sent for him, and that this cry was heard by Ra. The concept of praying is talking to God, and he hear you because he's up there. But most people think he up there, so they praying up there. Okay, but moving on. But the cry was so loud that Ra heard it, and now all of creation stopped. When you got that kind of influence on God, your God, where he will stop everything to attend to you, your problem personally, that's power. Watch this. That's what he's trying to show you. What was the nature of this cry? It had to be something. Why? You got my attention. Okay, what is it? So when a spiritual aspirant goes into prayer, cries out to God for assistance, for help, this is sincerity. Watch this. This is how it's done. With all of their heart, with all their mind, and all their body, their entire world, as if comes to an end. And the awareness of the world when there is complete attention on God and God alone. That's why the minister goes to talk. Only one person goes to the Holy of Holies of the church. That's got to be the spirit man, the divine man, who God will allow and talk to them on a one-on-one basis. He speaks for the people. Okay, got no problem with that. That's my pastor. That's his thing. All right, but when you have complete attention on God alone, and this is what they mean by stopping of the world. In effect, allows you, the person, to discover that the teachings which you learn leads to what? The ability and the power of resurrection, and leads you for immortality, which Tahuti, God's mind, brings directly from Ra. Okay? This is from him to you. Downloaded meditation. My pastor calls it downloaded. I call it meditating. When you get direct information from Ra, that's what she said. She got direct information. She know him. So when she called, he got to listen. Thus, now the task of all spiritual aspirants, right thinker, is up to you to develop such that devotion for yourself to God and the understanding of the divine for yourself, as well as righteous living, your life, virtuous living, in order to gain the power and the recognition to call upon the divine. Right there. If you ain't living right, if you ain't living virtuous, if you ain't got the respect and devotion to God, don't think you're going to get his attention. That's what they're trying to tell you. I'm just breaking it down. Hope you understand this, breaking it down for you. So when you call upon the divine, you go into prayer. If you ain't deserving of what you're asking for, you won't get it. But when you do, oh God, oh yeah. But that's only because you deserve it. God didn't do nothing special. He just gave you what you deserve. Karma does that too. But hers is in a negative way. God is in a positive way. There's the same thing, but just different concepts. Again, but when you can call upon God at any time in order to have your experience, the bliss of immortality, and gain the power to succeed in your life in whatever endeavor you want, you're going to need God's assistance. Don't y'all say, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That's God. You through his assistance. You saying the same thing. I ain't got a problem with that. Just make it happen. Saying it, don't really get it done. Get it done. Like the country boy, they get it done. Do what you claim. Your words should match your actions. Your action should match your words. That's balance. And either one of them ain't working, you ain't got balance. And I don't trust nobody who don't live in balance. Let's go. I do. Only those, again, who live in balance will have attained what we call purity of heart, because it's the work that you put in to purify one's heart. Deceitful, sneaky, and bad intentions don't lighten your heart. It heavies your heart. So your kind of people always fail the judgment test. This is why it's there. Nobody knows. Yes, they do. Moving on. But when you can call upon God yourself personally, and you should have a person. I don't need a group of people to talk to God. I don't need nobody else to talk to God. Jesus didn't need a group to call on his Father, to deal with his Father. Again, you have a personal relationship. That's what it should be between you and your God. So now the divine, which is in you, in this manner, this is only because those who have eradicated the Satanian negative aspect of ego self, their traits of anger, hatred, greed, hypocrisy, jealousy, self-importance, self-indulgence, selfishness, pleasure-seeking, etc. I have eradicated those things from my character. I don't do those things. I don't profess those things. I did, I have, but I know no longer. That's the difference. You can change by this way. Stop doing it. You can't account for what you already did. No, I ain't worried about that. But you can change what you're doing for the future. So from the heart, you can know the divine. Wait a minute. How you can know the divine from the heart? Because now you're conscious. That's the heart, mind, coherence. Now you ain't thinking or feeling. You operating under one accord. That's God. And it's your true essence. This cry that is not a loud, no, wailing or a sound of pain. No. There we go. Let's clarify this. It is not in a verb. I told you when I talk to God, I don't verbally say a damn word. It's all up here. That's my point. I love this. Tell him it ain't verbally. God didn't utter the words. He telepathically sent it to the heart. That's heart, mind, coherence. You got to think it and feel it as one. Sorry, I get excited. But he did not verbalization. It's not through verbalization. When she called God, she didn't, oh God, no, that ain't what she did. It's not a verbalization or a mental thought. It is a match. It is a much deeper process, personal, within which can only be accomplished by purity of one's heart. If you're not sincere, God ain't dealing with you. Why? He know you ain't. He know you full of crap. That's why all your bootleg pastors and preachers, they get all the material stuff. Why? They got y'all figured it out. They figured y'all out. They can't fool God. That's why at Judgment Day, that's when God has his way. If you think you can fool the people, and you can most of the time, some of y'all can fool them all the time, but you can't fool God none of the time. That's what judgment takes care of. Let me move on. Okay, these go. All right, but this special cry is something that only occurs at a much deeper level than your mind and your senses. It's past the physical body. It is that intuitional communion with your higher self, Jesus Christ, with God, that you only have that connection for yourself with your higher self. That's what it's meant to be. The following diagram may be used to try to get you to understand what intuition knowledge is and its relations to the mind and with the divine. See if I can break it down for you. The divine, which is the supreme self, which is the hidden inside you. Your intuition tells you that there's something there. You just got to find out. That's what Aset did. That's why she represents intuition. And your wisdom, Tahuti, your intellect, gives you a better understanding of a higher essence or a higher consciousness. Okay, God is spirit and consciousness. So that means your mind and your senses. That means the body and the mind. And your emotions. That's the heart in there. Now, you got the Trinity going now. The physical body goes along with the physical sense. It understands everything physically. Okay, not yet, T. All right? But most people live their life at this level of what? Physical body and mind, senses, meaning everything is material. That's my man right there. That's the ego level. Okay? But they do not progress beyond this level. Why? Because they have yet to discover their true intellectual capacity. Some of them don't care. They like to stay where they are. Why? They getting what they want. Pleasures and monetary things, material things in life. So they happy with that. That's why. And many of those who do discover their intellectual capacity, they get caught up in it, and their egoism causes them now to believe what? That they have achieved the heights of evolution. Like they done got enlightened. That's false ego pretending to be God again, and you fell for the okie doke. So now they believe what? That intellectualism is the end of all mental pursuits, that they know everything, they know enough, and that all there is to be known and can be grasped by the intellectual capacity. But that's what they believe. That's the ego. But this, of course, is an erroneous, ignorant concept. Yep. There is no possibility for your mind to encompass the divine, to know creation in its true essence through ignorance. Okay? Through the ego consciousness won't do it. For that, it is necessary for you to be able to go beyond your egoistic thinking, mind, ignorance, and be able to expand it with consciousness, with what? Right thinking. So in order to encompass all and for you to become one with the all, one with God, it's going to take what? Only God can know all. And since God encompasses all, watch this, but those who attain their oneness with God can also claim to what? Know all. I'm trying to tell you, I know thyself. I know all I need to know. That's what they're trying to get across. I'll make it real simple for you. No, I don't know the distance. I don't know, but I know me. That's all I need to know. That's knowing all, personally. But this is the goal of all those who right thinkers who follow the wisdom of yoga. You want to know. So that's the concept. So the highest level of knowledge is self-knowledge. Is that of God, is the universe, and at the same time, the very essence of one's heart, mind. With this knowledge and advanced spiritual aspirations, meaning you're studying, you're putting it to use, you can now effortlessly turn to God. Where is He? Within yourself. At any moment, and the divine will drop everything to listen to such an exalted personality as you. When you do the things you should do for Him, He will give you all His attention too. That's the concept that I said to try to show you. I'm taking it home with this right here. So as a human being, evolve spiritually. You got to grow with knowledge and understanding, and then implement it by living it. And from a gross personality, the ego self, living at a level of the lower self, that's the egoism, and the Satanian quality that you would exhibit, you have to now raise your conscious level to what? Develop your mental capacity with education and self-knowledge. And the mental capacity will now develop into what? Intellect. And the practiced intellect blossoms into what? Intuition and wisdom. So intuition opens the door to your spiritual, what they call spiritual realization. That's coming up next. And what you mean by spiritualization? Spiritualization is the source of all true knowledge. In fact, it is absolute truth, complete, infinite, and eternal, while that which is known with the mind, the ego, and the physical body senses is just transient and incomplete and not abiding, not absolute. Why? Absolute truth of self, relative knowledge of the mind and the senses leads a person to what? Their limitations and led by egoism. So if it is not understood to be only a means to your higher discovery, your better self, scientists, here we go, are in reality trying to discover and understand to be only a means to higher discovery. No, scientists are in reality trying to discover God. How? Through their sciences. However, if they see science as the end of knowledge, they will never discover God by their own limitations of egoistic ignorance. Their science will never be perfect. Why? Because it will always be limited, human. Intuitional knowledge, self-knowledge, is the only fulfillment of all intellectual pursuits. Get knowledge of God, get self-knowledge, thyself. Therefore, it is the process which brings true peace, hotep, and happiness, aka enlightenment, to all human beings who practice this philosophy. That's what right thinking philosophy goal is, to get you to know that for yourself. I do. I'm trying to get everybody who follow to do the same thing. Know thyself too. Hope you enjoy the lesson. That's it. Right thinkers. I'll be back with the realization of wisdom. That's learning it, practicing, and benefiting from it. That's what you get when you do it the right way. Check out Mr. Right. I'll be right back. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I'll never know my right thinkers who understand the meditation practice, the temple of Aset, and the cry of Aset passed away. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I always enjoy giving it to you. I'll be right back.